SeeAudio? I never heard about them. Are these any good? Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Now what we are having here today is SeeAudio Bravery. It's an in-ear model costing $279, sent to me by Hi-Fi Go, so if you want to check their link, it will be down below the video. And yes, it's another box with a pretty anime girl in front. When you actually look in the back, you have a frequency response graph here. And the information that we have 4 drivers, 2 for lows, 1 for mids, 1 for highs. Some of them are well-known nulls. For mids is Soinion. I don't know how to pronounce this. I don't really care. I only care about the final result. But just before we keep talking about the sound quality and final results, I just wanted to quickly show what you get in the box. It's a pretty nice looking box, luxury looking box, and inside you get a carrying case. It's a hard one. I think it's plastic, but it's really nicely made. Then you have the 6 sets of ear tips. 3 of them are memory foam, 3 of them are made out of silicone. These silicone ones are really nice and rubbery, and they're soft but sticky. I love them. They're not as soft as the ones on Moondrop Keto that I reviewed recently, but they're nearly as good. A little bit firmer, really grippy. They stay securely in my ears. Again, I love these ear tips. Aside from that, you get a lot of these small stuff to play around with. For example, 2 postcards. Why? I don't know. You can send these to someone. Then 4 stickers. 1 card, plastic card, again with the same pretty girl from the front. I don't know what this is for. And 1 small acrylic figure of that same girl. Again, I don't know what I am supposed to do with it, but when my girlfriend came back from work, she was like, "Oh, don't tell me please that you started buying those." And I'm like, "No, I promise these came with headphones." And she was like, "Headphones? Really?" Yeah, with headphones, really. So, all of that aside, time to talk just a little bit about their build quality and ergonomics. Starting from the cable, it's twisted, it's coated in some sort of cotton or nylon or something like that. It's quite thick. It doesn't tangle that much. It's not microphonic that much. It's not the best cable ever, but it's pretty good. I have no complaints about it. Earbuds themselves are a little bit on a chunky side, but they're very lightweight. Because this is some sort of plastic or something resembling plastic. There is no metal here, there is no ceramic or any other heavy material. So these are pretty lightweight, and at least for my ears, they're like a perfect fit. These ear hooks, as you can see, are quite lightly shaped. They're not one of these curly ones that you have to melt first, then use. So I like that too. It shapes just nicely around these huge ears of mine. And for me, my ears, my ear shape and everything, they fit just great. Everything is pretty awesome. And funny thing here is that I actually forgot how much they cost. Because as I mentioned, they were sent by Hi-Fi Go to me. I did not purchase these myself. And for a moment when they arrived, I could not recall what is the price of this model. So I decided, instead of Googling that first, just give them a try and try to assess how good they are and what amount of money would I pay for them. So, of course, when I saw this sort of packaging and a lot of extra goodies, I realized these are not your 50 or 70 or 90 US dollars in-ears. They're definitely 150 or higher. So I unpacked them, I started listening, and I realized, wow, man, this is a really nicely balanced model. Now, bassline is weighty and it's punchy. It's also very fast and textured. There is a lot of details to be found there. vocals and every other instrument that occupies mid-range is close, upfront, detailed, but also full and rich sounding. It's definitely not one of these aggressively V-shaped sound signatures where you can immediately feel that something is depleted and hollow in the mid-range. No, it's there, it's full, tone timbre is pretty decent, and highest frequencies are well extended. There's a lot of tiny details, a lot of quick transients that you can hear, and plenty of air around and between instruments. If you're listening to some sort of acoustic recording without much processing, the moment the microphone turns on and you feel that slight noise level that we perceive as an atmosphere, as an air, that you'll hear that through this. And every move of singer's lip and tongue and things like that, you'll hear it too. It's mighty detailed sounding in-ear. But again, it's quite full and rich in tone. And I realized, wow, man, this is a top-notch performer. This is really, truly well-rounded product. It not only that it has pretty nice and luxury packaging, it has the sound to match it. And I immediately started comparing it to other in-ears that I had at hand, like SeeAudio NM2 Plus. They were immediately outclassed. Just these are at a whole other level, more punchy, more detailed, fuller sounding, lusher sounding. Everything is just better. And then I took my favorite, Moondrop Keto. These are 179. And I said these are the best sub 200 or sub 250 $100 in-ears that I've heard. Very smooth, detailed, spacious, with deep and authoritative sub-bass. I haven't heard another in-ear at this price range that could match these. And when I compared them directly, what I noticed is that Keto sounds still a little bit wider and more spacious. Like tones that are on a far left or far right, they're even further away from you. You just have a sense of a lot of space. It's completely unusual for in-ears, and they're definitely class leading when it comes to that. But the sheer baseline punchiness was better with SeeAudio Bravery. Mid-range sounded a little bit fuller and more present. Now, true enough, Bravery is not as wide sounding as Moondrop Keto. So everything feels closer to you and more in your head than around your head. But that said, you hear more of the tiny details, more micro details from vocals, from saxophones, guitars, bass line. Even though it's similarly full and authoritative, now sounds cleaner and crisper and reveals more details, and it's more textury through SeeAudio Bravery than it is through Moondrop Keto. This especially goes for highest spectrum, whereas Bravery reveals more air. At all times, you're just much more aware of these small, tiny noises and this noise level of microphones and that sensation of air around you, around instruments and in between them. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, these must be even more expensive than Moondrop Keto, because these are by far my favorite ones, up to 2 and even 250 that I've heard so far. Even some pricier in-ears, such as Kinera Freya, they cannot match Moondrop Keto. Kinera Freya sounds warmer and less resolving. For example, CTM CE3020 that I also liked, these are 250 in-ears, they sound warm and nicely balanced, but they are just not as resolving as Moondrop Keto. and not as spacious sounding. This one trumps Moondrop Ghetto. And at that moment I just googled the price and I saw they are $279. That's $100 pricier, and I realized, yeah, that makes sense. Because even though newer and better in-ears at the same price range are often introduced to a market, Moondrop Ghetto is pretty new and it's already leapfrogged a lot of its competitors by a significant margin. And yeah, it was just, I didn't feel that anything costing similarly will sound better this soon. And that proved to be right. SeeAudio Bravery does sound better. It sounds more detailed, more present, but it is more expensive. The only thing that I still feel that Moondrop Ghetto is doing better is that spacious soundstage around you that really feels more out of your head and around your head than any other in-ear that I've ever tried. They're still champion in that regard. Again, they're still quite resolving, controlled, deep bass. Everything is top-notch with these in-ears. It's just not as good as with Bravery here. And I think that that's okay because these are $100 more expensive. And for that price difference that you pay, you do get more insight. You hear even more micro details. You hear even more precise and textury bassline and mid-range, but at the cost that everything is a little bit closer to you, it's more intimate, soundstage is not as wide and as spacious. All in all, I did prefer listening my music through these, and because, as I mentioned before, no other in-ear, including Kinera Freya CTM 320 and so on, that costed similarly to these, they cannot match these in-ears. Most of these cannot even match Moondrop Ghetto. So, in my mind, this is a very successful product. It's a great sounding in-ear. It's not really cheap at $279, but it has everything to justify its price. It has luxury packaging, a lot of goodies, great build, cable, and it does present an upgrade over the best sub $200 in-ears that I've tried so far. So in my mind, these are slightly more expensive in-ears with qualities to fully justify that price. It's just a matter of, do you want to spend that much and do you like this sort of intimate presentation? And I truly believe that if you're looking to spend this amount of money for such a nice in-ears, these should definitely be on your shortlist. And that would be all for today, guys. Now, if you like this video, then click that button, share it with your friends, and also consider becoming a patron, because that really helps the channel grow and acquire even more gear and do more of these interesting reviews. See you next time. Bye.